Welcome to all our ornamental fisheries viewers on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Now today our video is about how to make Infusoria. Now that you have successfully bred your bettas, the eggs have hatched, the fries are about to be free swimming. What's next? How do I take care of my fries? How do I bring my fries to saleable size? Now, this is what we'll be teaching you. So, want to know more? Stay tuned. Welcome back to all our viewers. Now, today, if you're new to our channel, welcome. Please remember to click the subscribe button for instant notifications and more. Now, today we'll be showing you how to make your own Infusoria for your tiny betta fries. Now, what I love to use my aged aquarium water along with biological matter from my biological filter, because my biological filter is filled with healthy bacteria that helps to break down the vegetable matter. So we are going to be washing out our sponge filter, which is our biological filter. So we'll add some aquarium water to our bucket before we start washing it out. It is not recommended to use pipe water. So we are using our aquarium water. Now, if you look closely, you realize that the color of the water has changed. Now, that water is filled with healthy bacteria and also some other sediments that allows the water color to change. Now, after we are finished washing out our sponge filter, we are going to leave our sponge filter and place it back in our aquarium, and then the water that is left, we'll be placing that water to settle. So we'll leave that water for a day for all the sediments to settle, and we'll continue with the other aspects of creating our Infusoria. Now we'll be putting some water to boil because we'll be using some hot water. It is recommended that you also use a glass bottle for your Infusoria culture. Now what we have done, we have punched some holes in the top of our bottle. We used our soldering iron to create some holes that will aerate. Now we'll be using some lettuce and also a leaf of cabbage. Now in order for these vegetable matter to be broken down quickly, we cut them in small pieces, and also the hot water will help with the breaking down of the vegetable matter, thus creating bacteria for the Infusoria to feed off. So it doesn't matter the size bottle. Always remember that we are working with a third of the bottle. So just cut up the amount of vegetable that can hold in a third of the bottle. So if you realize our vegetable is right about the third of our bottle, so we'll be adding some hot water to our vegetable, and then we are going to allow that water to cool, because we need it to cool back down to room temperature. Now that our kettle is boiling and ready, we'll be taking that hot water and pouring it on our vegetable in our bottle, our lettuce and our cabbage. So we poured about a third also in the bottle, just about covering the vegetable and allowing it to cool. Now, after our water in our bottle has been cooled, we left it to cool down to room temperature. That may take you 2 to 3 hours for it to cool back down. And now it is all cooled back down. If you look at the vegetable, you realize that they are slightly blanched. So our biological matter on that water now will allow bacteria to blossom quickly. So this is what our water looks like when the sediments is settled a day after. If you realize the top of our water is clear, now that's the section that we'll be using. So we'll be taking a portion out of our rich bacteria water or healthy bacteria water and pouring it on our vegetable. Now we'll be pouring to fill our bottle to the top, and we'll be leaving a little space for ventilation. So therefore you don't have to fill your bottle all the way up, but leave that little space for ventilation. Also remember that you're not supposed to punch those holes too large because it can cause insects to enter your Infusoria water. Now, what we are going to be doing, we are going to be placing our Infusoria bottle in a shaded area for the bacteria to blossom. So this is day 1 after we have set up our Infusoria culture. This is day 1. If you notice carefully, you would realize how the bacteria starts to blossom in the bottle because the water starts to get cloudy. So whenever your water starts to get cloudy, that means that there is a presence of bacteria growing for the Infusoria to feed off. Now this that you're looking on is day 2. Now if you realize the breaking down of the vegetable matter is getting there and our water is getting even more cloudier. Now if you realize that there is any slime at the top of your bottle, it would be good for you to shake your bottle to give it some extra aeration. This is our Infusoria culture on day 3, and I place it right beside my Betta aquariums for you to see how cloudy the water is. So this is your Infusoria culture, and as you go on, the water will be cleared. So therefore, when you know that your Infusoria culture is ready is when the water is crystal clear. So when your water gets crystal clear, it's time to start to put droplets of that water using an eyedropper or even a straw in your Betta fries tank. Please remember to use a small amount, and also if your water ever turns back cloudy, that means your Infusoria culture has died. So as soon as your culture, your water clears up, that means that the Infusoria had eaten up all the bacteria in the water. So please remember, if your water gets back cloudy, that means the Infusoria is dead. Do not feed it to your Betta fries. So remember to use a small amount whenever you're feeding, and also to remember to create more than one culture, so when one culture goes down, you have another one to feed from. Thanks much for joining us for this another enlightening video on Infusoria culture. If you have any questions, any query, any comments, please leave them in the section below. Thanks much for joining us, and please remember, do subscribe Ornamental Fish Whiz.